Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Ruji Media. I'm your host Richard Morla, and today we're gonna be learning the content aware move tool. So let's get started. All right everyone, here we are inside Photoshop, and as you can see today we're gonna be learning content aware move tool on this beautiful image. As you can see here, that as always guys, do not forget to click the link below where you can download this image. You can download this image, and this image is going to be totally for you. It's for free, so you just need to download it and follow along if that is what you would like to do. Now moving on, here we are, and the first thing that we are going to do in order to work with the content aware move tool is to duplicate our background, and in order to do that is CTRL+J. Now that we duplicate our layer, double click on it. Now we call it base. And now that we have that, all right, preparing everything before we start doing anything with the tool is to click here in this plus icon, which create a new layer, or let's delete that one here, or you can CTRL+SHIFT+N, and that will give you this pop-up window here where you can name your new layer. And in order to do that, CTRL+SHIFT+N, and now we name it, and we're gonna call it content aware tool. That's how we're gonna call our layer, so we know that everything that we're doing here, we did it with the content aware move tool. Let's put here actually move. There you go. And now I'm gonna put a color here, and I want to color this one yellow. And now I'm going to hit OK. But before I do that, if you want to know how to work with this pop-up window here, all you need to do is to watch my previous video where I'm explaining how to work on this window. Now I'm gonna click OK, and now I have here my new layer already named and also with a color, so I know that's the layer that we're working on. Now I'm going to move here to this side of this bar, which normally you will have it here on the left side. I have it on the right side, and that is matter of preferences. Like many people like to work on the left side, others in the right side like me. So all you need to do right here now is right click where you see this healing tool, and now you're gonna go here and say content aware move tool. Now that we selected the tool, this is pretty much straightforward. However, we have here the top bar. In the top bar, we have the selection area. This area here will affect how we are affecting the selection that we do. For instance, that one. And also you have here this little icon of the content aware move tool. Like if you click on it, and now I click on this little tool here of settings, now I can reset tools preset, load tool preset, save tool preset, or replace the tool preset. And in case that you would like to reset this tool, only the content aware move tool, again you go here, you come to this setting icon, and you're gonna go here and set reset tool. Now you can see that now whatever I will say it go to the default mode, and any settings that I was having here, it will disappear. So now here, as I was talking about the selection area, so I'm gonna make a selection here. Now when you have it just in selection, so one thing that if you don't remember what each one of these does, if you hover your mouse over it and let it rest there, so it said, you see, intersect with selection. This one is subtract from selection, and this one is add to selection. So, and this one is new selection. So I make my selection right here, and you can see here says intersect with selection. So let's say I have here this selection. Well, first let's start with this one, with this as you can see here, with the add to the selection. So I'm gonna click on it and add to the selection. Either I can add to this selection, or I can select separate like this, and it's adding to that selection. Or I can actually do this and join that selection just like that. Now here you can see that we have, it says, if we let it be, subtract from the selection, and that's right, it does what it says. Now I want to only select this chart here. All I need to do is selecting, whenever you're going to select, you want to select from the outside. You don't want to start a selection from there because you will move it if you start your selection from the inside the selection. So now let's undo that here, click in there where I click, and now I'm gonna click from the outside. I'm gonna circle this area here. Oops, I forgot to select the mode, and I'm gonna go back here. And now you can see that I subtract that selection. I subtracted that selection that was there, and if I want to add it, I go back here. And now, oops, again guys, remember not to select from inside the selection, from the outside. So now I can add to that selection. I want to subtract from the selection. I click on this icon there, and now I can remove that area of the selection. Then we have this one here, which is intersect with selection. So what does it mean? So if I have this selection here, no pixel were selected. Why? Because if I make a selection here, I'm gonna click and let's make these two, and now I want to intersect with a selection. Let's say this one here, and I do this. Boom, look what happened. So intersect is exactly what it does. Is intersecting one selection with the other. So, and you can do this and you can work better when you are intersecting your selection, but that is up to you. If you like, you're making a complicated selection and you want to intersect it. So be aware that this, what just happened to me, can happen to you. So going back again, I'm gonna make my selection here, select here, and now I'm gonna do this. You can see that now it make only that selection right there. So basically, if I'm having look, this selection here, and now I want to select the whole chart, it doesn't work because now I have that selection. And intersecting selection means that whatever I have selected here, and now I do this, now you can see that I will have only that spot right there, and I can continue doing that, and you can see it's becoming smaller and smaller because I'm intersecting, but at the same time I'm leaving only that part that I want to have selected. All right, now that we understand that, then you have the mode here, and you have move and extend. So now let's go back to the default one, which is new selection here, and now I'm gonna have it on move. Now I'm going to select the chart again, and I'm going to place it up there. Now you can see that I moved the chart completely from where it was here to here. It's different when you hit extend. Going back to mode, I hit extend, and now I'm going to reselect my chart. And extend give you two options. Option number one is that this chart is here. Now I want to have one more chart right there. Now I click here, OK, and you can see that now I have two identical charts. However, if I click Ctrl+Z, undo, so going back, and I'm gonna make the selection right in the half of this chart, just like that. The selection itself doesn't matter. And look, now I'm going to lower it a little bit, and you can see that I extended my selection, which by default I make now my chart even longer. If I press Ctrl+D and deselect, you can see that the chart now is way much longer. So if I Ctrl+Z or undo again, now you can see it's shorter, and if I press Ctrl+Shift+Z to redo, now you can see it's longer. Ctrl+Z, undo, Ctrl+Shift+Z, redo, and you can see now. All right, so let's undo that and deselect by pressing Ctrl+D, and now we have a structure and color. And a structure and color, whenever you're working in a structure and color, it's exactly what it says. If you remember, like a structure is similar to sharpening, but not exactly sharpening, but bringing more details. And if we keep that in mind, that we are bringing more details and working that with color, so now we can blend better our selection to the part that we're moving it next on. Like, let's say from here, and now I'm going to extend or move this chart right there. I click OK. And you can see now that Photoshop did their best to blend this chart here on this new area. However, it doesn't look like it belongs there because you can see this bright spot right there. Now, if I work with the structure, let's say 5%. And now I start working with colors. 3, you can see how it's changing to 5. Well, we almost there. How about 4? Now, there you go. That looks much better, but I don't know, maybe 6 will do the trick. And 6 is the color that we are looking for. You can see now that it blended way much better as it was before, Like you can see working with the structure and working with colors. So now I press CTRL+D to deselect, and you can see now it's a little bit visible there, but you can work around with the structure and color so you can better fine tune this area here. All right, now I'm going to undo that, CTRL+D to deselect. So if I have here this new layer, Content Aware Move Tool, as we name it. All right, on this new layer, if I click on tick the sample all layer, now when I do a selection, look what happened. Oh, that's interesting. Let me, for some reason, let's create a new layer. So CTRL+SHIFT+N, and let's call this layer sample. For sample all layers. There you go. And we're gonna color this one green. There you go. So now you can see sample all layer, and it's on tick. I'm gonna make my selection, and there you go. Now it doesn't allow me to move my chart. Why? Because this layer is empty, as it says here. Look, could not move the selection because the selected area is empty. And that's right, because this layer is complete empty. But now if I hit sample all layer, I can move my chart and no problem with my new layer. And you always want to work on a new layer so that you work on a non-destructive way. So now that we know what it sample all layer does, now we have transform on the top. So again, if I have in this selection, move my chart, look at these blue lines that I'm having there in this square. This allow me to enlarge or make smaller my chart, and I can click OK, and there you go. Now I have a baby chart right there in that area. So I'm gonna undo that, and now I'm gonna click on tick, transform on the drop, and now I'm going to move my chart again. But you can see now I just moved the chart, but I don't have the flexibility to either enlarge or make bigger my chart or smaller. So that depends on your preferences, whether you are thinking just to move the object, or you want to have more fine-tune your moved object. So if I undo that, and well, let's undo again and click transform once again, I come here, you can see that now I can rotate the chart, I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller. As you can see, look at this. There you go. And now I click OK. And now I have, once again, a baby chart, CTRL+D to deselect, and it's like coming this direction there. So this is better. This is really good, like when you want to recompose your image and move object and make it look more appealing, like in this case. So let's undo that, undo again, and now CTRL+D. So now that we know how all this panel work here, so we can make, once again, another baby chart, and let's put this baby chart, I don't know, around there like it was. We're going to rotate it a little bit, we're gonna make it smaller, and now we're gonna click OK, and there you go. Now we have a baby chart right in there. So all right guys, I think that's it for the Content Aware Move tool. Now you know all you need to know in order to properly work with this tool. It's a great tool whenever you want to work moving object, recomposing some object, and make it look better. So for your composition to look way much better than it was when you shot in camera. Maybe you want to duplicate an object because maybe you didn't have one or two. So this is a great way to do it. using the content aware move tool. So remember, on the top you have, let's see, you have, as you can see here, the selection area where you can affect all your selection. You have new selection, extract from selection, intersect selection, and also make new selection. Then you have the mode. In the mode you can extend or move. Extending works two ways. You can enlarge or make longer your subject or object, and also you can move it completely. But remember, when you move completely and it's removed from where it was before. Then you have a structure and color. And a structure and color, as it says, a structure bring details, color blended more with the color of the new area. So with the combination of both, you can really blend your image to make it fit exactly as in that new area where you are placing that object. Then later we have sample or layer and transform on drop. Sample or layer, once again, is when you're working in a non-destructive way and you create your new layer, you rename your new layer. And remember, two ways to create a new layer is hitting on the bottom panel bar, I wanted to say. So there you have the plus symbol, you can create a new layer, and then on top, when you click sample or layer, so then you press CTRL+SHIFT+N. And then you have, as it says here, transform on drop. And this will allow you, when you have it ticked, is to enlarge, to make smaller, to rotate your image and better work with that object where you want to place it. So I hope this tutorial helped you, and I hope that you write some comment down below. And I hope that also you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, the ring bell and the notification bell, like all those things that you have on YouTube, so that every time I make a post, you can see it. You can follow me also on my social media, Ruji Media, and Instagram, Ruji Media on Twitter, and also Ruji Media on Facebook. Thank you guys, that's it for me. See you on the next one.